It's weird because I simultaneously feel like a grandma, but also feel like I just beat teen pregnancy. And I guess that's what it means to be 26. Guys, I know I said I would post every week, but last week was a rough one. It was my birthday on Friday, January 12th, and I'm usually a birthday girly, but this birthday I turned 26, and something about turning 26 and getting kicked off your parents' insurance plans makes you rethink your life. So yeah, sorry about not posting last week, but I was in my feels. I don't know. This birthday was just like, I honestly don't want to sound like really annoying, but the worst one. I definitely am in the midst of a quarter life crisis. And so navigating that space right now is just odd. Anyways, I thought it would be fun now that I'm 26 and freaking old. Not that it's actually old, but you guys know what I mean. Now that I'm 26, I thought that it would be really fun to do a 25 things I learned by the age of 25. I don't know, that just sounds like a fun video to do. And I honestly feel like I've gotten so much wiser, especially over the last like 4 years. Like I sometimes feel like I'm a completely different person. So feel free to listen. I honestly think I give 10 out of 10 advice, 12 out of 10 because I'm born on the 12th. But yeah, I'm gonna do that and do a little get ready with me as well. It's currently 11 p.m. so I'm not going anywhere. But for you guys, yeah, I'll do a full makeup glam. For you, anything. Let's get into it. And also, as I was getting this camera set up, look at this. I broke my nail. Unlucky. Anyways, this is just not my day, but starting off strong, number one thing that I learned, also these are in no particular order, these are just, you know, brain flooding out. It's okay to bounce around jobs. So I'm 26, right? I went to college, a 4-year university. I double majored and minored and, you know, had a dream job. Guys, I used to work for the CDC. Insert, you know, logo here. Like the day the pandemic started, officially, like I think March 15th is the day that I graduated college. I got a job right out of college working for the CDC in their office, one of their epidemiology units. So like the study of infectious diseases. And so I was like right in the midst of COVID, like not a frontline worker by any means, but like literally my entire job was just doing COVID related things. And you know, that's like a public health major's dream job. I went from that job to being a Disney celebrities social media manager to getting laid off and then becoming a full-time content creator. And that all happened within 1 year. 1 year. My whole point in saying that is like your 20s are for like figuring your shit out. So if you don't like your job, leave it. Obviously have like a backup plan because, you know, we're not trying to be broke out here, but just don't feel pigeonholed to your job or to a job that relates to your major if you don't like it. Just try different things out, see what sticks, you know, what's the vibe. Just experiment a little bit, maybe in more than one way. Number two, not everyone drinks and does drugs. I feel like on social media, all I see is like very excessive drinking, partying, trips, whatever, where people are doing many drugs and drinking, you know, a lot. Power to those people, sure, whatever, but that is not everyone by any means. There are actually so many people who have so much sober fun. I'm someone who hardly drinks and, you know, maybe I'll partake in a little sometimes, but otherwise I'm really not that into anything. But I'd honestly say I am the life of the party when I do go out, and that's for everyone I've ever seen who's sober. Like they've never been like a buzzkill. And that actually leads perfectly into number three. Just like not everyone, you know, drinks and does drugs, not everyone gets work done. Guys, this is actually insane, but I've been hearing of like 22-year-olds, 20-year-olds even, getting Botox and filler. And again, no hate, no shade. Like honestly, it's your body, do what you want. Like sure, maybe you want a little plumper lip, whatever, but if you're 20 and getting Botox, I'm sorry, like that's crazy to me. I definitely sound like a hater, but it is what it is. And I just feel like social media for some reason makes 20-year-olds believe that they need these things. Like these really young girls need a bunch of work done. No. And it just makes me so sad that these 20-year-olds are made to feel that they are, you know, ugly or need to fix themselves at freaking 20. And for the record, like I said, I am 20. Oh my gosh. That is way. Okay. Oh my gosh, why is it chunky? Oh, I scraped it by accident, so the chunks are getting in it. Okay, wait. I need to focus on this blend because I don't want it to like sit on my skin and then mess up my entire look. Now I'm gonna get a thicker brush. Like, so if this ever happens, I really make sure to get a brush. These are not clean by any means, so ignore. A thicker brush will help, you know, blend her out so she doesn't look so wild, because this brush is clearly picking up a lot of the pigment. So there we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh, MUA who? Honestly, that distracted me a little bit, so I don't exactly remember what I was saying, but my whole point was to say is I'm 26 and I've never gotten anything done. This is what a 26-year-old looks like. I've never gotten filler, Botox, plastic surgery, whatever you want to call it. That doesn't make me better than anyone, and that doesn't make me worse than anyone. It just means that this is what I look like actually with zero work done. So sure, do I have like some wrinkles, some, you know, fine lines, whatever? Yes. And will I maybe get Botox in the future? Probably. But yeah, this is just to say it is absolutely okay to not get work done. Many people do not get work done, and I'd honestly argue the majority don't. We just happen to see on the internet all the people who do. Okay, now I'm gonna do my eyeshadow, but just look at this palette. It's called the Horse Girl palette from Trixie Cosmetics. I just think that's so funny. But the shades, Gorgina. I don't know, maybe just like a very simple glittery look. I'm not going anywhere, like I said, so I honestly should experiment a little bit. Okay, up next on the list is something that I learned actually probably in high school. You are not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's just that. Okay, pause because I'm genuinely confused. I'm using this color. Like, look how pigmented she is. This one right here. But she's like not really showing up. She's not giving pigment at all. She's giving shimmer. We love a shimmer, but like pigment? I don't know her. Like, do I like her? Yes. Was I expecting this? No. Going back to the life lessons and the whole shebang, I feel like what I hear a lot from people is, oh, I want to do content, but you know, what if some people don't like me? Tough. Is that not just life? Like, not everyone is going to like you. And I just feel like the sooner that you accept that, the happier that you'll be. Because when you stop changing yourself in order for people to like you, you start to like yourself a lot more. So basically, being a people pleaser is out. And this is where the eyes are at. Not bad. Like, I don't hate her, but do I love her? Okay, we're now at number 5 on the list, and this honestly might be the most important one. Be politically active. Period. Being politically active is cool. Caring about your community is cool. Caring about communities you're not even a part of is cool. And also just remember that voting is kind of a privilege. It's a privilege that not all of the world has. So if you have the opportunity to vote, vote. Okay, pause because she looks thick, but once we add the lash, she'll come together. Trust the process. Okay, I ended up doing this eye off camera because that was very hard and very just not fun for me, but so far, so good. It's kind of giving 2016, but I'm not mad about it. I honestly never do a thick wing or a wing in general, but you know, I'm vibing. Do I like it? Okay, moving on to number 6. This should be very insanely obvious, but give a shit about your partner's politics. I'll see girls on TikTok be like, this is my dream man, but he doesn't believe in feminism. Like, he doesn't believe that women should have equal rights. Or the absolute craziest one, especially in light of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, where I'll see girls be like, I am so pro-choice, pro-women, pro-blah. But my man, and then he'll be on the exact opposite side, like, babes, what? I don't know, I just feel like that sets you up for disaster. And also it's like, why would you want to have a partner who does not have the same values as you? Like, babes, you're not gonna fix him. He just really is that dumb. Okay, and I just put on powder blush. I always set my cream blush with powder blush because I just feel like it makes it stay that much longer, like it locks it in. It's almost like I use powder blush as a setting powder for my cream blush. Okay, number 7 is get professional help. I heard an analogy once, you know, when you get a cut, you go to a, you know, doctor's office, but it's like when you have anxiety, depression, whatever, go to a professional. Therapists and psychiatrists have a, you know, degree and a job for a reason. So take mental health as seriously as you do physical health. Because just like you can't think away a broken arm, you can't think away depression. And number 8 is honestly, again, one of the most important ones. There is such a thing as the right therapist. And what I mean by that is therapists are not like a one size fits all. I used to hate therapy. No, that's what I realized. I don't hate therapy. I hated that therapist. I had to connect with the right therapist. There are so many sites that you can go on where you can book a free 15-minute consultation with a therapist. And that's what I did when I was finding my current therapist. I literally called, did 9 or 10 phone consultations with different people. I literally had a spreadsheet. I'm a Capricorn, clearly. And I would like mark little notes about them. And I'd either put an X or like, maybe a question mark, like up in the air, or I'd do a check. And I remember when I found my current therapist, I was like, she's it. Ding, 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 we have a winner. I knew right off the bat. But she was also like the 6th person I had like a conversation with. So if I had just settled for like number 1, I could have been very unhappy and, a hater of therapy right now. So who knows? Okay, the eyebrow is doing something right now. Normally I use the Benefit brow pencil, like Precisely My brow pencil. Right now I'm using one from Billion Dollar Brow, and it's just like not as fine because I actually just don't want to waste my Benefit one. It's like my child. And so these are just coming out a little bit wonky wonk, but again, we're going nowhere, so who actually gives 2 shits? 1 second. Okay, is this better? Not bad. Not great, but not bad, right? Let's keep her pushing. Okay, number 9 is always give the compliment. If you see something that you like, compliment it, as long as it's like appropriate, obviously. But yeah, I just feel like there's so much negativity in the world, and like you could literally make someone's entire day, week, month, year by giving them one compliment. So like if it's such an easy gesture, why not do it? But on a less positive note, I don't know why these ones are next to each other, but number 10 is understand that you'll lose friendships that you thought you'd have for your entire life. And that's because of lesson number 11, which I learned later than number 10, which is your friendships will transform, and there are also different types of friends. Had to take a quick little pause because Moose was pawing at the door. Okay, we're back in action using the One Size powder. I actually really don't like this powder, maybe because I have dry skin, but I'm using it right now because I'm not going out, but she's not the best in my opinion. The Huda Beauty powder, this bad boy, love her. Anyways, for lessons 10 and 11, it really was such a shock to me to lose some of my closest friends that I've had for, 10 plus years. And part of it is, on their end, part of it is my own, because I think that we both didn't realize that like our friendship would not always look the same. It can be so hard adjusting from talking to someone, 10 times a day to once a day to, once a week. And you're like, I feel neglected. I feel like you don't care. When in reality, it's not like you don't care. It's just like a very different style of friendship now. Maybe they're in a different stage in their life and you are as well. And that doesn't mean you guys have to stop being friends, but like learning that your friendship is just going to be a very different dynamic is like a necessity in order to like maintain the friendship. So for me, like I didn't know that 2 things could exist at once. Like we could still be best friends and just talk a lot less. And then how I mentioned, like the different styles of friendships, that's a huge thing that I learned to love. Just that, you're gonna have a best friend who's like your, go-to person. They fulfill all your wants, needs, desires, just like the truest definition of a best friend. But you'll also have like, a partying best friend, work best friend. There's so many different styles of friendships. And so like, you can't expect every single one of those friends to check every single one of those boxes. And so the sooner that I learned that, the happier that I got, because then I stopped feeling so neglected in all these other friendships. But yeah, that just really helped me like understand like people can still be in your lives just in a different capacity. And for the select few that are important enough to be, in your life, I think that it's better to have them in, some small way or some less big way than not at all. Okay, lesson 12 I learned in therapy. Communication does not equal comprehension. Just because you say something to someone does not mean they actually understand the reasoning behind it. Just because I say something to my partner, like this is important to me, that doesn't mean it clicks for them. Of course, at like midnight, this powder happens to look very good on right now. And I'm bummed because whenever I go out, she does not perform like this. Lesson number 13 I learned very recently, get a dog, but also don't. Has Moose changed my life in the absolute most incredible, magnificent way? Of course, he is the love of my life and brings so much joy to my life. That being said, he's also just inhibited me. I can't make this up. This is happening live. It's also just creepier that it's 12 right now and he's barking this way. It's giving intruder. Watch someone walk behind me right now. 1, 2, 3. Can you imagine? That'd actually be horrible. Let me go check on that. 1 second. Okay, Moose is finally in here. But as I was saying, having him has been such a blessing. I got him when I was 25, so this past May. So like 8-ish months ago, more or less. He hurts my business so much in the sense that like so much time goes into him to where I don't get to reinvest that time into my business. So I got him when he was 4 months old. So a lot of the training had to be done. And you know, that's with any dog, no matter what the age. That being said, the amount of time I put into him was like 40 hours a week. And that's not even an exaggeration. Oh, it's a baby. Is he so worth it? Yes, like he is like my little healer. He makes me feel so good. Like he's truly like the reason I wake up. He just brings me so much joy. And he is also just preparing me for motherhood. I've had dogs my entire life. But having your own dog, a different story, especially as an adult. Like everyone always says, you know, the dog that you have in your early 20s or your mid 20s or whatever, in your 20s is your soul dog. And I definitely agree with that. Like I do agree. He's like my soulmate. Like we were truly made for each other. His birthday is January 11th. I'm the 12th. Capricorn. I will say he's hurt my business in one regard, but helped me and my business in many other ways. So it evens out. Obviously would never change anything, but like really, really, really think before you get a dog. Okay, Moose ditched me again. But number 14 is that it's okay to still live at home at any age, but also in your 20s. I used to be very against that, but I did it. And it leads me to point number 15, which is save your money. Okay, this Benetint is slaying, but I'm gonna put a little bit more on. But yeah, you don't need to buy everything. You just don't. I know that we as content creators push different products all the time, but don't. Like, of course, buy what you need, obviously. And, you know, maybe a little bit here and there just for funsies, but definitely don't spend all your money. Save, save, save. Anyways, there's just like no reason to be like 22 years old and, you know, not knowing where your next meal is coming from, but buying a $5,000 luxury bag. Like, be for real. So instead of buying luxury, do tip number 16, which is start investing today. If you haven't started investing, you're late. Like, you could be 12 years old watching this, invest. Even if you got $2 from a lemonade stand, start investing, because the number one key to investing is not even how much you're investing, it's time. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to do a little white liner at the bottom. This is gonna be questionable, but going on to number 17, let's talk about heartbreak. If you're going through a breakup or have been through a breakup, this one is for you. I went through a really bad heartbreak in my early 20s, and that like changed me. One, it hardened the out of me. And then two, it also just made me incredibly empathetic. It'll also just teach you like who your actual friends are, if they'll like want to be around to, you know, support you through this period. And so if you are going through a heartbreak, just know it is part of the plot. It's character building. We all have to go through it, and it will make you a better you. But I know it might be very shitty right now, so I'm sending you a virtual hug. I love you. Okay, honestly, this Benetint is just not dark enough for me, so we're gonna go in with a lip liner and maybe like a gloss. But anyways, moving on to number 18. Knowing people is not the same as being friends with people. So just don't waste your energy on people who aren't your actual friends. Like, yes, of course, you might know them, but a friend definition is very different. Okay, number 19, experiences are always better than gifts. And I honestly believe that. Like, of course, gifts are nice sometimes, don't get me wrong, we all love a good gift. But I feel like I remember 100% of my experiences and maybe like 50% of my gifts. Also, the lip liner, it's giving. Okay guys, we are almost done with this. We're already at number 20, which is don't compare your relationship with other people's. Every single relationship you see online is not how it actually is. Trust me. I know from experience. Like, am I gonna film and post the fights with my boyfriend? No. But am I gonna post the cute photos where we look like the most idyllic couple ever? Obviously. I promise you, no relationship is perfect, no matter how perfect they may seem. So just don't even compare. And speaking of relationships, number 21 is don't ever spill the tea on your relationship to your friends, family, whoever. Okay, this lip is actually so bomb. Wow, love. Like, we've all been there. Our friends have been pissed off at their boyfriends and, you know, spilled some tea. And then afterwards they make up, but you will never forget that. You're like, oh, Jack did that? He's done. But then they end up staying together for another like 2 years or maybe like forever. But in the back of your mind, you're like, side-eye? At least my judgmental ass is like that. I don't know. Okay, and this next tip is for my fellow chunky humans. Okay, so it is not always better to look smaller in your outfits. I feel like for the majority of my 20s, I'd always choose like clothing that made me look physically smaller. I was like, oh, this like, you know, hugs every part of me. So people don't think I'm bigger. So I basically never wore baggy clothing, and as a result, missed out on like a million different styles because I was so, you know, confined to this one little box because I was like obsessed with not looking bigger than I actually was, which I know sounds dumb, but young Kiara believed that. I'm gonna be so extra and add a really intense lash right now, by the way. So if you don't like intense lashes, tough. I know it's not very clean girl aesthetic of me, but guess what? I'm not a clean girl. It is what it is. Number 23, one of the most important lessons I learned was the importance of not giving your opinion. More often than not, some of your friends just want to vent, just want someone to talk to. And I feel like I'm such a talker, clearly, Leo rising. And so as a result, I'd always insert my opinion even when it wasn't asked. And what I've really learned is that people don't always need opinions, they just need someone to talk to. So unless I've been asked, what's your opinion? Or unless like the person's my very, very close friend, I zip it. Okay, let's just admire her for a second. Wowza. Anyways, number 24 is self-care looks different for everyone. On TikTok, you might be like inundated with, oh my gosh, self-care, I'm taking a bath and I'm reading a book. That is like my personal hell. Feeling like soup plus reading in that soup, a nightmare. Even Moose agrees. Take care of yourself in the way that you take care of yourself. So for me, it's, you know, doing a fun little craft and watching some really trashy reality television. I don't know why I just said television instead of TV. Like, why am I doing the absolute most at like 1 a.m.? Okay, wow, she looks incredible. I love it. And as I put this last lash on, the 25th lesson that I learned by 25 was that aging is truly a privilege. Like, I'm not trying to get all sentimental and corny or whatever, but being able to grow old is a privilege that not many have. There are millions of people who will never be able to turn 26. I'm especially reflective of it right now because of what's going on in Gaza. Obviously, they're experiencing and the fact that thousands will never be able to turn 26. I obviously just don't even have words for that. Anyways, guys, that was 25 lessons by the age of 25. I'm now 26. And also, here's the full glam. Someone needs to answer the question, why does everyone always do their best makeup when they don't actually have to do good makeup? Like, I'm not going anywhere right now. It is literally almost 2 a.m. But why is it that my makeup looks flawless? Like, it looks so good. How cutie. Like, there's no skin filter, there's nothing. It's just the skin. Anyways, I hope that you guys got something out of these lessons. If you've already learned them, slay. If you don't agree, let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. My 25th year was truly such a blessing because that's when I created my YouTube community, and you know, obviously you guys are here right now, so thank you so much. I love you, my chunky humans. And stay tuned for next week because again, I'm trying to hold myself accountable every Sunday. You already know. But yeah, I love you guys. Bye.